In this video, we'll cover the calculations and methods needed to build a chart with a label above the bars or columns like this. Here you can change the measure from this drop-down, which updates the charts, the difference calculation, and the chart title. The chart plots 4 products, but you can also select which products they are, and the chart updates. There are options here to change the space between the bars and lines in the label. This will depend on your preference and the size of the label you've placed in the chart labels above the bars. Lastly, you can change which product you calculate the difference between, and the arm positions update. Before we build it, let's cover the basics to what we need to calculate and how we build it. First, we start with a simple column chart. Then we add a line chart on top of it, so it's a combo chart, meaning it has more than one data series and charts in it. The two data series will share the same axes. For the x-axis, which is categorical data like this, the middle of each item is the integer, like this. Then, if you want to place a point between the series, we can use decimals. So 1.5, for example, will be between the first and second item on the x-axis. The left arm is a line between 3 points, so we need to calculate the position of the 3 data points shown in red. Similarly, we need to do the same for the right arm, and also there's a dot in the middle, which is a single dot, but in the final chart, this dot is not visible. We've hidden it and added a label on top of it. All of these 5 data points have the same y value. This will be a certain percentage above the maximum bar height. In the clip at the start of this video, you saw this percentage could be adjusted by the user. The y value for the points above the bars will vary if you have labels above the bar or not. To keep the distance between the arm and the bar consistent, it should be a certain percentage of the maximum value added to the bar height. The x value for the position in the middle is the average of the category positions. The x values here could be in the middle of the arm corner and the dot in the middle, but this will depend on the size of the label. The x values for these points are the same as the category values for the bar. With all the x and y values calculated, you can select the chart and then use the Select Data tool and add the left arm, right arm, and dot separately as new data series. Then, using the Change Chart Type tool, you can pick the correct chart type for each data series. Now let's build it. First, we start with the basic case, where we fix the difference between the third and fourth product. Note that you can download the working material for this video below. The working material has some guide notes shown here in the blue tab. Click on the plus icons to show this detail. You'll notice it starts with Power Query notes. I won't cover this in this video, but you can see in the Raw Data tab I've started with data in a CSV format, which has been converted in a table. It was processed and cleaned by Power Query and then output in the Starbucks tab here. This is real data I've got from Kaggle, by the way. You'll be able to see the Power Query steps if you download the working material in the link below. In the Column Chart tab, we have the table in the top left. For now, I've fixed it so the chart only shows 4 products. The user can change the product from the yellow drop-down. This is made using the Data Validation tool, where I source the options directly off the table in the Starbucks tab. I populated the calories column using an XLOOKUP function, also pointing to the Starbucks tab. The user can pick the padding from these 2 drop-downs, which are made, again using the Data Validation tool. Then underneath here, you have the calculations for the position of the arms and label points. Useful calculation points are the max value between product 3 and 4, which I use the max function, and also the marker height, which references the max value and the padding height cell above. You can see these values change if I change the padding drop-down, and also if I change the product 3 selection. Then in the grid below this, I calculate the x and y values for the data points. For now, the arms are fixed between product 3 and 4, so the x values are simple. 3, 4, 3.5, and then the points in the arm closest to the dot is 3.5 plus or minus the padding width drop-down. For the y values, you can see 5 of the points reference the marker height cell. For the last 2, the points above the bar, you can see I reference the value in the table above. Then add on the max value times half the height padding. For this, you could have also had a separate drop-down if you wanted. Then lastly, the marker label value. I join the text difference to the percentage. The percentage is formatted with the text function, and I use a char 10 to put them on separate lines. This creates the chart on the right. but let's make it again. Select the data, Insert tab, and Column Chart. In the Chart Design tab, use the Add Chart Element tool to control the elements on the chart. Then I do a bit of formatting. Back in the Chart Design tab, I select the Select Data tool. I click Add to add a new series. However, it thinks I want to add another column chart series, so I only have one series value. For now, I select the X-axis, change the chart type, and come back to this. So go to the Change Chart Type tool, select Combo Chart, and change the type of the line option to the XY scatter plot. Click OK. Back in the Select Data Type tool, I'll edit the left arm and then add the right arm and marker series. Change the type for the marker. Then I'll select the dot in the chart element, add data label to it, and format it to be the value from a cell. Then some formatting for the arm and marker. That's it. Now this responds to changes in the products you select. There are ways you can make this more complex and dynamic. In this example, I've let the user pick the measure in the table, and I've also let the user pick which products they want the comparisons between. It's plotted in the same way and it's plotted from the same grid. There are just more calculations and logic in it. For example, in the product selection here, you don't have to pick the first product in the left arm first. It calculates which products the left arm and right arm should be. Also, if you select bars that aren't together, it calculates the max value of the bars between your selection to ensure the arm doesn't go across the bar. You can download the material in the link below to see how it was made. It contains additional notes like this, or if you've purchased my Automate Excel course, the working material and extended video where I talk through how the more complex example is made is included in the course for this video, and all videos in my YouTube Advanced Excel playlist to date and future videos. Thank you, and I hope you found this useful.